everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, How One Mortgage Company is Growing Their Business with Personalized Marketing. My name is Jody Schelt, and I'm a Senior Marketing Manager here at MarcomCentral, and I'll be your host today. Our featured speaker today is Michael Latkowski. He's a Marketing Coordinator with Citywide Home Loans and is joining us from Salt Lake City. So thank you, Michael.
Of course, happy to be here.
All right. Okay, just a couple of notes before we get started. Yes, we are recording this webinar, and we will send that recording to you after we have concluded the presentation today. So keep an eye out for that in your inbox. We also will be taking your questions. So if you have questions for Michael during the presentation, submit them in the chat box to your right, and we'll get to those at the end of the presentation during our Q&A session. If we don't get to those for some reason, we will answer those offline after the presentation. Okay, just a couple of notes about who MarcomCentral is before we get started. MarcomCentral is a marketing technology company with a focus on marketing asset management. We were founded in 2000, so have been around for many years. We have around 100 employees, and our headquarters is located in beautiful Solana Beach, California. We have many customers in the financial services space. Many of those financial customers are concerned with keeping their marketing assets regulatory compliant, which is why they use our platform. So with that said, we're going to start the presentation. I'm going to hand it over to Michael, and we are going to hear from him.
Thanks, Jody. I appreciate being able to join everyone today and talk a little bit about how Citywide has been able to tackle some of our marketing challenges and who we are. So we are in our 20th year of business here in Salt Lake City, Utah. We had started as a very small company, just one branch servicing loans. And in 20 years, we have grown to over 350 loan officers and 800 total ops and support employees in the United States. We are in 36 states now, including, as of the beginning of this year, Hawaii, with 79 physical branches in the United States. We have a physical branch in every state we are licensed to conduct business in. And over the last probably 6 or 7 years, we have had a really exponential growth rate due to a lot of our marketing, technological innovation, recruiting, focus on streamlining our procedures, our processes. One of the talking points of our bank is that we do everything in-house, so we kind of try to simplify the process and make it as easy as we can. And I've provided just a couple numbers up at the top. I mean, we've grown from $594,000 in loans in 2012 up to $3.2 billion in volume since 2016. So we've had a lot of concerns and challenges moving forward. So we really couldn't keep up with ourselves at a certain point. We had such a rapidly growing number of people that our marketing department, we have a team of graphic designers, as many do, that help kind of tackle custom projects and marketing collateral for our loan officers, for our operations and C-level teams, all sorts of different people at our company. And with the growth that we had an interesting challenge presented to us because our graphic designers, as efficient as they could be, were having an issue keeping up. My role in marketing with Citywide Home Loans is that I come from a pretty diverse background. A lot of it is kind of on-topic stuff. I've been in both the agency world and at private companies in marketing, advertising, business development. I spent quite a few years in customer service and customer experience management. And I was brought on by Citywide Home Loans at the beginning of 2017 to help manage our marketing collateral system, as well as a few other initiatives that I have led that assist with our digital marketing automation and making sure that that is the easiest it can be for our clients, who in this case for our marketing department are actually our banking professionals and loan officers. So that's the people who we deal with on a daily basis, who we service, and then they service to the client. We established a new strategy when I was brought on. Before I had been brought on, we had established an in-house marketing department and ended our agency partnership with an agency we had here in Salt Lake City, just out of concern for mostly what it had cost and the control we had over our brand, our ability to effectively market ourselves seemed to, as we grew and grew, be handled more efficiently in-house. So we brought that in-house in 2015. And that's a little bit of background on what the founding point of our marketing strategy was, bringing everything in-house. And I identified that we needed to be using our marketing asset management system. It's something I'll obviously be going over in more detail here. Another piece of our strategy was to recruit new loan officers. In this industry, that's definitely huge. The more people you have under your roof who are producing helps growth. And just a little bit of an illustrating point is that we went from 3 marketing employees when we came in-house in 2015 from our agency relationship to over 10 of them as of the beginning of this year in 2018. So when I came on, I established a set of goals that my marketing director and I kind of sat down, as well as a few people in the rest of our department, and decided what was most important for us to help our people obtain marketing collateral. So we wanted to improve our user experience, simplify the process of customizing our stuff, and making sure that that was easy to access. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't a bulky process, that our people would be able to get on, have an easy portal that was simple to use, and pull all of the relevant information that they were looking to have in a timely manner that really didn't take much time out of their days. Many of you who are in this industry understand that time is most certainly money, more so than most any industry I have worked in before. So it was really important to us to have it be kind of a simple process. And also a goal of ours was to reduce the burden on us as a marketing department. We wanted to, as all people do, appear as though we were running as efficiently as possible and make sure that we were using our human resources as adequately as possible. So with our graphic designers, with our coordinators, we wanted to make sure that everything was running as efficiently as we could have it. So the way our system works is we have 2 main types of templates. We have a standardized static template that is a lot of social media images, things that our loan officers and professionals can provide to assist with their marketing efforts, usually on social media. This is stuff people will print out and have in the office. Static templates that contain useful information that allow our people to be able to pull marketing pieces and have a diverse library of things at any given time. We also take advantage of customizable content. So using our system to create things like our business card templates. We have a lot of people who really like to choose what they want. They really want to see their vision. So we've been able to provide a lot of templates that allow for the feeling of customized marketing material while maintaining our brand with customizable content. So we use our business cards, we have postcards, we have flyers that highlight everything from open houses with real estate agents, partnership programs with our co-marketing partners. We have loan program flyers. I could go on and on about it, but on the surface level, that's about what we use. And a big concern of ours was how we would manage our growth. There's a lot of fluidity to our base of employees. We have a lot of people coming all the time. We have people who decide on a moment's notice that they really want to take on some new marketing initiatives. And the underlying thing here is that so many of our loan officers like to feel as though they have the personalized aspect of their marketing. And we see that both internally and externally as a huge win for us here, because we now are allowing people who work for us to market themselves at nearly a moment's notice with a ton of on-brand, controlled, compliant pieces of marketing that they can access. And from an internal point of view, people are very happy with our marketing department that we've been able to provide this. And it helps streamline our onboarding process, that we can add people very quickly. We can get their profiles set up. We can lock in their information. We can ensure their licensing data is correct. Things like addresses, phone numbers. For anybody in the industry, you'll understand that the compliance ramifications of a lot of this data can be overwhelming. And the fact that we can bring someone to the system and have them uploaded and live within an hour of being notified by our human resources team that we need to be adding someone is a huge win. a big piece of our marketing collateral challenge was keeping everything compliant. We are heavily regulated with Truth in Lending Act, RESPA. There's a whole long list of things I could go through, but being in multiple states and being in this space in the market is a huge compliance concern with our marketing material. We need to make sure that everybody is properly representing us, and also our duty to properly represent them. In a business where a lot of this is sales-based, we want to make sure that everyone looks as good as we can, but our corporate concern, of course, was a big piece of this was compliance. Being in multiple states, we deal with things like variable disclaimers, verbiage, all sorts of different problems that we have found ways to tackle by using our MarcomCentral system and being able to variably select marketing states and having that drop different pieces of information onto our documents and allowing it to be operating fluidly in a way that our compliance was actually able to remove an approval process, give our system the go-ahead after a careful review, and allow us to just go live. So our loan officers can now be pulling instantly. We made sure everything on the back end was working correctly. We streamlined it, and now you go in, your information is stored. It's a very simple procedure. Go in, you select any of our documents you want. The procedure is the same. You click, and it's yours. And we were able to make sure that was all compliant as well. It's been a huge asset to our recruitment team as well that we've been able to advertise this when we're out building new business and soliciting new business relationships, which in our industry is incredibly important. Making sure that people know that they will have this tool available to them when they move under our umbrella, or if they choose to move under the umbrella of Citywide Home Loans, to be originating their loans, has allowed us to share that during the recruitment process, and we've seen people who are very impressed with this. They've been unable to really navigate marketing in a lot of the other banks that they've been with, and that's not to say everyone, but we've been able to allow certain loan officers from the reception we've received market themselves in a much more efficient and on-demand manner, which is really important to a lot of our people. The ability to log on, pull what they need to pull, and be able to just move forward with it at a moment's notice has been a big pillar of our recruiting strategy, and people always love to hear that it will be that simple to market themselves with our company. And after we went through these changes in our user experience, our compliance concerns, all of the things that we've addressed over the past 12 months, we have actually seen a 55% higher rate of adoption with our new trainees. That was some data I pulled and was actually quite pleasantly surprised to find myself that we, based upon somebody who would have joined our company, say 16, 18, 24 months ago to now, we are seeing more than a 50% higher rate of adoption on people who are getting into the system. They are using it, they are understanding it, they are able to efficiently manage their marketing collateral from our side. And we also ran a few campaigns with our existing users because we had, at the time I began, still probably over 275 loan officers. And although some of them were taking advantage of the collateral system we had in place, we thought that it would be advantageous to both them and us to run some campaigns to let them know that we had really simplified the system. So now that everything has been made on demand, that we had made everything very simple to use, our user experience had improved. So we ran some campaigns, and we have a 50% increase in adoption from a year ago after reaching out and highlighting these changes in our company meetings, in our marketing department runs something called Marketplace Minutes, which sends out to all of our applicable marketing employees and loan officers several times a month. We also found a few more ways of promoting this when bringing people on, like I mentioned in our recruiting strategy. But with our existing users, on a daily basis, we are seeing 50% more marketing collateral assets come through our system than we were this time a year ago, which has been a huge win for us. And we've been really, really happy to see the way we've been able to streamline our efforts, and using this system has been a wonderful part of getting to where we are today with our marketing collateral, having it all loaded in. It's easy, it's simple, and not being able to just use it for ourselves and for our employees, but to use it as a recruiting strategy and to be able to move forward with it and know that it is scalable, it's simple, it's easy, and to have it in this position where it hadn't been before has been incredibly advantageous to us.
Okay, thank you, Michael. It's a great story. We appreciate you sharing it with us. And we've already had several questions come in. So as a reminder to the audience, if you have questions right now, go ahead and type those into the question box, and we will take those. So I'll get right to those, Michael. The first question that we had come in. Now this may be, you said you had the MarcomCentral system prior to your starting there, so this may be before your time. But the question is, did you consider other technologies for this solution, and was there any determining factor for selecting Marcom?
I know just from having internal meetings and discussion on this that we received pitches from several different systems that were made available to us. We went with Marcom mostly for the compliance concerns and controls. It offered us a level of freedom that some places weren't necessarily as concerned with or as equipped to handle, as well as the cost and responsiveness of the service team.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, the next question, what kind of elements are the loan officers personalizing on the flyers and materials?
On our flyers and material, we create a standardized template. With compliance concerns, we have to make sure that the data we are providing on loan programs, et cetera, is standardized. But we allow for a photo, contact information, addresses, email, websites, phone, cell, office, that type of thing to be implemented into the footer, and all of that information is customizable. So we keep everything on brand at the top. We share a custom footer on our flyers at the bottom, allow them to customize that, as well as we use in our industry a lot of just listed and just sold postcards in co-marketing efforts with real estate agents. We've been able to build that functionality into our system. So now every flyer, every postcard, all but maybe 10% of our templates have this ability to be co-brandable. So we are now allowing our loan professionals to customize their co-marketing pieces as well in the system, and that's been a huge win for us. We also use our business cards. We have something called a pop-by card that we can have customized very quickly. We are also now using Facebook and LinkedIn cover images inside of the system. A wealth of things, but those would be probably some of our top level.
Okay, thank you. And another question came in about the graphic designers. So is their time been reduced on the one-off requests that you're receiving?
It most certainly has. I mean, the system that we had used prior to this, well, not a software solution per se, but the way that our department had processed this type of request prior to this would have had our graphic designers customizing piece by piece, which of course is very time consuming. And I don't have an exact metric on that, but I would say that we have significantly reduced the workload for our graphic designers and allowed them to pursue a lot of really cool marketing interests for our company in truly custom design, removing this, changing this little bit of information and that little bit of information, and using a variable document inside of our collateral system has allowed us to pursue a lot cooler custom new marketing material with our graphic designers' time. So it has reduced their workload, but also we've been able to fill that with new initiatives that have been really advantageous to our company.
Okay, the next question is, do users from multiple states get access to different content within the platform?
They do. We are allowed controls on that. So we actually, as well as having 36 different states we work in, we actually have 3 DBAs. So we work as Citywide Home Loans, Citywide Funding Corporation, and CHL Mortgage, depending on the state you're in. And we have been able to customize our system to allow a user group. So a location-based user group the user will log in and have access to specific content made available to them in their brand, in their DBA, with their logos for the state that they are working in.
Okay. this question may go with that one. How do you organize state licensing rules, ensuring that only the states in which a loan officer is licensed populate a disclaimer?
So there are a couple of different ways that we do that. There's an internal review process that goes along with that as well. But since we only make certain state options available to the user in the system, they are only allowed to market into the states that they are licensed with our licensing team on. And then we maintain that inside of the system, as well as, like I said, an internal review process, because that's something that changes so often that we review that internally, but we also use the system to ensure that we are not allowing people to run kind of free agents and market themselves in states that they are not licensed with our company to do business in.
And you can control that through their user profiles and their login?
Yes.
Is that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, the next question. Who builds out the version form functionality for you? Is that your designers or MarcomCentral?
A little bit of a combination of both. However, we really are kind of sticklers about our brand control. So I would say 90% of our documents come from our design team, and then I will take the templates, I will version them, which is a fairly simple process, and then I will put them into the MarcomCentral system. But that is not to say that we haven't reached out and been able to get support on that as well. So it's been a joint effort, but for the most part, that stuff that our designers create, then they send to me as kind of our automation specialist, and I throw it in with Adobe, make sure it's all working correctly, and put it into our system, which is nice that we have been able to do that internally, because then the procedure for us is simplified, but it's also good to know that if we were to reach out and need assistance with it, it's always there.
Okay, and a question around printing. How do loan officers print their flyers? Is it in-house, or do you send them from your corporate office?
Our corporate office, we have a print and production coordinator, and we work with a couple different print brokers. Depending on the state that we're in, we've established a couple of printing partners, but we have print capability for every one of our pieces inside of the system. Then that, if printing is selected instead of a digital download or any of the other options, it goes to our printing and production coordinator, who we have then implemented a process of reaching out, and she works between our print brokers in the various states that we are in and our employees to kind of simplify that process. So we've set up our system to pop out print projects straight from the back to our production coordinator, and that's become a fairly simple procedure.
And this question, you touched on it a bit. It is, how did you get loan officers to use the new system? Was there pushback?
We really didn't see a lot of pushback, because we didn't push a ton of our system until we had really streamlined it to the point where it was incredibly simple to use. And we've been very happy to see that now that we have our system optimized and running in this way, we really don't have a ton of pushback. Of course, there's always going to be one or two people who need some assistance, and we've been happy to provide them with it. But we've been thrilled to see there hasn't been a lot of pushback. We don't see a lot of user concerns the way our system is set up now in this automated fashion.
And the next question is, how do you promote new items or updates to the users?
So there are two ways that we do that. We utilize a start page inside of our portal that always shows our latest product uploads. So for any of our users, the second they log into the system, they jump in and they are taken straight to the page, which highlights our most popular and newest products, which is nice. I can control that at a moment's notice from the back end. And we also use some of our internal marketing campaigns. I work closely with our internal marketing coordinator to make sure that when we're distributing information about the marketing department, we are highlighting new procedures, new processes, and new pieces that are in our Marcom system for people to use. And we see a pretty great rate of adoption, at least with our active marketers, on using those pieces that we highlight.
Okay. Okay, and it looks like our last question here is, how do you handle custom requests now? So I'm guessing you still may get custom requests, and are those going to the design team, or do you guys evaluate those first? before completing
So
those?
we have a process in place in our department. We have our lead coordinator vet all of our custom requests. A lot of times our custom requesters will be directed to Marcom because it's possible they weren't aware of a piece or didn't know that they were not taking advantage of something that's in Marcom. And then from there, if we are to deem a request as truly a custom original piece of marketing that we'd be excited to create, that is plausible, it can be compliant, we can move forward with it, we move it from our lead coordinator to our design team using a system that we built into our intranet.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Michael. That was a lot of great information. We really appreciate you joining us today. And if anyone has any follow-up questions for Michael, you can send that question to the email address on the screen, and we will get it over to Michael. So again, thanks so much, Michael, and thank you everyone for taking the time out to join us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks again for the opportunity. It was great to join everyone today.
Okay. All right, thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.